out there, and welcome to the Body Slam TNA post show. As always, I'm joined by my co-host. He allegedly has no relation to Steve Macklin, and he's a fifth rascal himself, Burt Macklin.
How you doing? Yeah, we remember that. I'm no longer. I've renounced that name for now. I'm full rascal now.
So you're Burt Rascal?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Burt Rascal then. Before we get started, we just want to let people know, we appreciate the support. But if you want to help support us even more, send in a super chat. That way you guys can have your comment live read on the air.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, we would really appreciate a super chat. Alrighty, let's kick things off talking about NXT. So as we all know, you say his name and he appears. Joe Henry appearing on NXT, the 25-man battle royal. Not only was he there, but so was the king of TNA himself, Frankie Kazarian, was there too. Now, one of the things that I like was that they let Joe Henry cut his usual promo. They followed the storyline with Joe Henry and Frankie Kazarian. Now, I know a lot of people felt some type of way that they eliminated Joe Henry pretty quickly, but look what it's gotten. It's been the most viewed video since WrestleMania 40. Joe Henry did a backstage segment with Shawn Michaels, and he was serious. That's the type of Joe Henry we need to see in TNA. But what were your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, it appears that the WWE universe, especially the NXT crowd, believes in Joe Henry. This was really awesome. And the more that I think about, if I could just talk a little more, a little about Kazarian, I like that they picked these two people to be in the match. At first, I didn't understand why Kazarian was there, but at the same time, I thought, well, if Joe Henry was going to be there, it would make sense for Kazarian to be there since they seem to be having or starting some sort of feud. And I liked how Joe Henry, I didn't like Joe Henry getting eliminated first, but they could totally play into the fact that maybe Kazarian got the people to help him eliminate Joe Henry, and it plays into TNA tonight, or not tonight, but going forward. So I like this.
And Frankie Kazarian making it to the final four. So that was good. Now, I have to say, what a week it's been for TNA. I don't want to hear people say, who watches TNA? Or nobody watches TNA, because clearly people watch TNA. Jordan Grace got a pop. Joe Henry got a pop. Frankie Kazarian got a pop. TNA has been trending. And according to Tom Flanagan on tonight's episode, TNA this past weekend had the highest TNA subscription than TNA Hard to Kill, No Surrender, Sacrifice, Rebellion, Under Siege combined. So clearly people are watching.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was really taken back. I was like, holy shit, that's really cool. Yeah, that means something. You know what I mean? That's a lot. That's a lot of subscriptions, and if it's all of those combined, yeah, I don't. The TNA disrespect it's always been there, and there would be times in the past where I wouldn't put up much of a fight that you could have, some dislikes about the company, but I don't see how you could watch this show and the show that they've given you the last 5 years and find so many faults that you seem to see people have with it online. I don't get it.
Somebody needs to throw all of that into a trash can and light it on fire. It needs to die. People watch TNA. People are subscribing to TNA. I'm subscribed to TNA Plus. I watch TNA even though I don't have AXS. I found ways to watch TNA. So that rhetoric needs to fucking die.
Yeah, I have TNA Plus and I have access. So yeah, I don't get it. All we can do is keep watching and hope others follow.
Exactly. Follow the leader. Reminder, you guys, if you want to show support for me and Burt, please leave a super chat, especially if you want to have your comment read on there. We would greatly appreciate the support. It'll go a long way.
We would love that.
All right. So let's talk about Explosion here. So Explosion had featured Jonathan Gresham and Leon Slater. I thought this was a great match. Jonathan Gresham targeting Leon Slater's left leg, cutting his speed down to match. And Jonathan Gresham won this match after he pretty much gave Leon Slater a low blow. What were your thoughts on this?
Heel Gresham, especially in this new character, continues to pique my interest. So more of this. And then obviously Leon Slater, somebody, what is he, like 19 years old, 20 years old?
19.
That's even already I see star it, and then for the next 10 years, 15 years, this is who I think people are going to be talking a lot about. So, watch him on the rise up in TNA fast.
I agree. He's definitely a future X Division champion. And they said on commentary he's 19. He needs a little over a year to beat Awesome Red's record of youngest
Amazing
X
Red.
Division. Yeah, Amazing Red. So great. So, and as usual, we have the Around the Ring segment. This time has AJ Francis. I'm starting to agree with you. Like, as much as I originally liked the Around the Ring segments, I'm starting to get like a little bored of them.
Well, hold on. I must have missed this, but what did AJ Francis say? Because he's money right now. Did he say anything of interest?
He's talking about the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
See, this is why he's the digital media champion. He's staying current.
Io, yay, our first super chat. Keep up the good work,
Thank
guys.
you, Io.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You're the best.
He is the best.
He is one of the best. And like I always say, Explosion could benefit from a 2-match. You could do so many things. I sound like a freaking broken record. I should just clip the stuff that I've always talked about for Explosion and just edit it in all of the streams, so that way I don't have to repeat myself constantly.
Just the biggest argument just has to be constantly that with only one show a week and the roster getting pretty big, and then especially with them working with other promotions, they could definitely use another show where they have more than one match. And so that's Explosion, and they should give us more than one match.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So the system, along with JDC, kicked off tonight's TNA Impact. And we found out that JDC now stands for Johnny Dango Curtis. Quite the character development for Johnny Curtis here, because he went from hating pro wrestling to being one of the best, according to himself.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like the name. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. It's not. It's a little, little wordy. But I didn't see that him joining this group. That wasn't something I saw. But it kind of does fit. You know what I mean? But so I'm interested.
Moose said that he's technically not part of the system yet. And I wonder if this is going to play into a factor into the eventual downfall of the system. Because Moose says that JDC is not a part of the system yet. And so it seems like they're trying to make him roll. Ayo does bring up a point that Dango's a collector to the Judgment Day with the system. Bro thinks he's a part of the team. That is true. So I see the similarities.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, one thing here, Moose says he hasn't been beaten in 2 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't his feud with Joe Henry like last year for the digital media title, or was that 2 years ago?
I honestly don't even remember that. And that's insane. If he said he hasn't been beaten 2 years.
Yeah, I could have sworn that was last year. No, yeah, I was right. TNA Hard to Kill 2013. I mean 2023. So, Yeah, but according to Moose, he hasn't been beaten in 2 years.
But even if he was lying, heels are supposed to lie. So I wouldn't even care if that wasn't true.
True that. So, anywho, we find out we're going to get a Road to Slammiversary, 5 matches, and the winner of each match will face Moose in a 6-way elimination match. And then the main event was going to be Josh Alexander versus Eric Young.
And that should be good.
Yes. All right, we get an ABC promo, and they're basically talking about, it seems like they're on the right track again, and that they want to challenge the system next week. It seemed like it for those tag titles. I thought that was going to be the Slammiversary match.
Let me just, if I can comment on them being back together. I think once I'm glad because I would never wanted them to break up, especially badly. But like I think now that the machine guns are gone, I think the ABC is going to be their next great team when you're making your list of top TNA teams with that has Beer Money, America's Most Wanted, the Machine Guns, the Wolves. I think ABC is their like next great team. So I think therefore I think I think they are going to stay together, and that's what I kind of got from this promo.
I'm hoping they stay together. I'm hoping that it's not like if they lose this match, they're going to break up.
Yeah, they shouldn't. No, especially because it's not like they went down. I think in the where I see them on the card, there's just too many people in the main event scene that I don't want them to jump over, and they don't need to. They're still relatively young, so there's no rush to push them in the main event scene.
True that. Next, we get the Hex versus Spitfire. It seems like Spitfire's trying to get, work. It seems like Spitfire got it together. I wonder if they're going to be ready to challenge Militia pretty soon for those Knockouts tag titles. But Spitfire wins here. No surprise. The Hex isn't officially signed to TNA. I wouldn't mind if the Hex comes to TNA, though. We need more Knockouts tag teams.
And really, they don't. Honestly, you don't necessarily have to sign them, but as long as they use them, you know what I mean? Especially like but yeah, it would be nice to have them. But at least we have some sort of A division at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Because like the Knockouts tag team division has suffered so many losses over the last like 2-3 years that it's slowly trying to build itself back up.
Because they're building more within, like they should have always been. Like putting Alicia and Masha together was a very smart move.
It was an unexpected one. But we did bring it up that if Lish wanted to bring gold, she was better off going after the Knockouts tag titles. All right. Next, we get the sound check with Alan Angels. His special guest is Kushida. I really like this because he was like as we know, Dr. Kushida here is trying to find a cure for Gresham's squid ink. And Alan Angels was like, are you even qualified? Where's your degree from? Like, do you have a degree and stuff? And like, I showed this video of like Kushida working on an octopus and him creating a cure. I thought that was pretty hilarious. What do you think of this?
Yeah, this is wacky. I couldn't take it seriously, but I didn't hate it. Of course, you're not supposed to take it seriously, but it was very funny.
It was. This ultimately ends up leading to Kushida versus Alan Angels next week because Kushida was like, "You want to fight next week?" And Alan Angels was like, "I think he says fuck or he says shit," but he's like, "Damn, I didn't think he was gonna say that." So that was hilarious. We get the Chicago Street Fight, the king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian versus Ace Steel. Now, I thought this was a good match, pretty decent match. I'm not surprised Frankie Kazarian won, but that fade to black onto steel chairs is pretty vicious. At the end, though, he tries to do the chicken wing, but Joe Henry comes out to help Steels, and then he hits Frankie Kazarian with a standing ovation. So clearly, their feud is not over.
As it shouldn't be, just because I think these two just are going to play a big picture in the title, in the world title scene going forward. I do like this.
Same. I'm so torn because, like, on one hand, I want Joe Henry to be world champion, but the other hand, Frankie Kazarian is the king of TNA.
Well, I do see in my head the way I think it plays out is Joe Henry wins the title for Moose, and then Frankie Kazarian beats him for the title.
I could see that. Next, we get a Mustafa Ali promo. Segment. And I thought this was a hilarious thing because, like, Campaign Singh is trying to tell him about his idea. And it seems like Ali stole that idea. And he's like, I'm going to make a State of the Union address. And then Campaign Singh is like, he's a genius and a champion. So I thought this was a pretty funny segment.
This was the best thing on the show, in my opinion, or at least one of them. Like, Ali's such a prick heel. And stealing ideas, and like he's very good at it. Like, he's very phony. Like, it's very funny, and he's doing this character very well. So I like this.
Me too. I'm gonna enjoy this for as long as we have Mustafa Ali.
And yeah, he's had a really good run right now. He's had a one of the better X Division runs that I can remember in a while.
I agree. All right. So next we get PCO's date with Steph Delander. Just like weddings, celebrations, and contract signings, this date ended in complete and utter chaos. I have to say, like, SCO was out there dressed like Elvira? How do you say it? Elvira?
Yeah.
Elvira. And I was like, why are we watching this? It was kooky. But it wasn't boring, or cringy. And I have to say, like, First Class ruined their date. AJ Francis chokeslamming SCO through the table while poor PCO was like zip tied to the ropes.
Well, first, I think it's in the name. Like, the segment. Well, the food was gross. I don't know what they were drinking. I don't know what they were eating. So then First Class had to class it up. Rich Homie Swan, and AJ Francis came out. And what move did he give PCO? Because the way that he got him up with ease was very impressive. Whatever PCO, whatever he hit PCO with.
Didn't he hit him with the champagne?
No, like whatever move he hit him with. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the Death Valley Driver.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe he got him up like you know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize how big AJ Francis was. So, no, yeah, this, I don't know where they go with this, but I really like how they're like establishing they're establishing these two. Like, they're trying to make them, they're at least doing something with AJ Francis.
Like I said last time, they need to do more with that digital media title, for God's sakes. And I sound like a broken record every time I mention it.
At least I think he's the right person to have it, though.
If you guys have been watching us over the last couple of weeks, I've talked about how they should have the digital media title should be defended every week on Explosion. They should have a tournament to crown the number one contender for the digital media title. They could do so much with Explosion, so much with this digital media title. I don't understand why they're not doing it.
I don't know.
So, poor PCO, the date got ruined. It doesn't surprise me. It's pro wrestling. Things like this always get ruined.
Yeah. Like you said, contract signings, weddings, they don't go well.
Nope, they don't. So, Heather Reckless versus Ash by Elegance. I'm not too familiar with Heather Reckless. I don't recall seeing her in TNA recently, but apparently, according to commentary, she's been in TNA before?
Yeah, I can't remember either, but I trust TNA's commentary. They would know better than know better than me. So.
Same. Okay, so Ashby Elegance won this, no surprise there. She mocks Jordan Grace. Now, I really hope Ash by Elegance versus Jordan Grace, I really hope that's not the Slammiversary match. I really hope that's just a random match on TNA within the next coming weeks, because that does not scream Slammiversary match to me.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I like that they're starting to do something with it now, because I don't think it lasts all the way till Slammiversary. So, because that they have to have, because if that's one of the big four, TNA's big four, they have to do something. Ash is not on. I'm not here to talk about who the draw is not, but Ash is not on the level of somebody where people are going to want to see that match on that big of a stage. Especially if you think about, it's a show that you pay for. It's not part of the, you know what I mean? You're paying for it. It's not one of the specials you get. So you have to entice people with a match they want to see. And obviously a lot of people, it's not just us that want to see Jordan versus Natty. Jordan versus Natty is not the match.
Look, no disrespect and no offense to Ash by Elegance. I like Ash by Elegance. I dig her character. But that's not the Slammiversary match. It's not. It's Natty versus Jordan. That's the Slammiversary match. You can have Ash by Elegance versus Jordan Grace on Impact, on the Go Home show before Impact, or maybe 2 weeks before the Go Home show to Slammiversary.
Yeah, I would even be upset if it was a triple threat with her versus Natty versus Jordan, because I just think that this should be about Jordan versus Natty.
Yeah, I agree. So next we get JDC versus Ryan Netmith. And this was not a bad match. JDC bringing it out on the table, like I said, quite the character change, a 180. He went from hating pro wrestling to now he's serious and stuff. Like, his best match in TNA was against Josh Alexander, but this wasn't a bad match.
Well, he was like always a heel, but like now, yeah, he's, and I don't, if he might hate pro wrestling, but if you're going to be in pro wrestling, there's no better group to be than in the system. You know what I mean? So whatever, he's, smart on him. But yeah, no, I also, I'm seeing more of Ryan Nemeth, which I didn't, I stopped watching AEW Dark after a while in Elevation, so I didn't see much of him, but, he's looked pretty good in these last few matches.
I never watched Dark. I never watched Elevation. And if it makes anyone feel better, I never watched BTI either. So call it even. But it's interesting that at the end, only Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers came out. Moose was not there. Like I said, the opening segment fully showed that Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards are behind JDC and they're welcoming him into the system with open arms, but Moose not so much. So I feel like this might be, I don't want to say the beginning of the end, but this might be, one of the reasons why the system starts to fall.
Yeah, but I think ultimately what breaks them up is when they start losing championships. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
That's very true. When they lose all those titles, that's the beginning of the end of it. We get a video package for Josh Alexander versus Eric Young. A nice, well done video package. I liked it. Goes to show that TNA's production quality has improved greatly.
Definitely.
So we get the main event is the first Road to Slammiversary qualifier match. It's Josh Alexander versus Eric Young. Apparently the last time they fought each other was at Slammiversary in 2022. And this was a great match. Like, I really like how Eric Young got himself out of that ankle lock the first time, and the sharpshooter. But no surprise here, Josh Alexander wins with the C4 spike, and then at the end, both men hug.
Yeah, this was a really good main event. But what did I expect with Josh Alexander, and what should I and I shouldn't expect anything less from Eric Young, who's who's been in this business for 20 plus years. This was a good match.
Yeah, I agree. Very good match. So no surprise, Josh Alexander moves on. Will we see him recapture the TNA World Title? Only time will tell.
I think eventually, but it's not yet.
Yeah, I agree. Eventually he will. All right, you got any comments you want to mention as we get ready to wrap up?
No, I obviously just watch TNA. I don't if you're not, I don't know why you're not. Like, it's easily it's an easy watch. You know what I mean? It goes by. It's a great show. It's a great roster. Just watch TNA.
Yeah, it's only an hour and 32 minutes with no commercial interruptions.
I don't know. It's a good show.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty, well, that's it for today's show. Thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuing support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever we go live or whenever BodySlam goes live. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.